Hi, it's Rich Tehrani here in the TMC newsroom, and we're at Cloud Expo 2010 in New York at the Jacob Javits Center. Thanks for tuning in. Today on our program is Darryl Brown, who's with Switch and Data. Darryl, how are you?
Very good, thank you. Pleased to meet you.
Thank you for being on our program.
It's a pleasure.
So can you give us a little overview of your company, please?
Yes, I'm with Switch and Data. Switch and Data are a premium data center company. We provide the facilities, specifically the power, the cooling, the rack space, and allow our customers that are in the cloud computing as software as a service space to basically build their ecosystems, connect with each other, and get the best ways to their end users.
Okay, so you're basically powering or allowing the hosted market, the cloud market, to really take off by providing an environment for the companies, right?
Yes, that is correct. So that's the overall goal of that, we have a large number of carriers in each one of our facilities. So I have the carriers or the internet services providers. So as each one of these cloud providers are looking to deliver to, say, enterprise customers, they can either get to them over the internet or with the carriers, and we're what's termed neutral. So I don't mind who you work with or who you use. My job is to put you together. So I'm like a dating agency, if you like.
Great. And so in terms of the cloud market, obviously in the media in the last 3 or 4 years, the market has gotten so much more attention. Have you seen the amount of space taken in the data center also grow?
Yes, I believe so. We also have what's called Palo Alto Internet Exchange, or used to be Palo Alto Internet Exchange, which is now the Public Access Internet Exchange. And we're seeing a lot of traffic increasing across the internet exchanges as well. And we are seeing a large number of servers come into the data centers where before it used to be just switches and so on and so forth that the carriers needed. So that would hint toward just significant growth in the cloud space.
Just because now they're providing services such as software or just the infrastructure, right? The servers, leasing out servers, but also leasing out potentially applications.
Yes, I think that's the case. I think from the majority, of course, it starts with storage, right? I need storage, I need backup, and then as I move up the value chain, I start adding more products and services on the top of that. I'm seeing a little bit of interest now in what's called private cloud, where we've got customers that are looking to provide services across, say, carrier VPNs versus across the internet, be it for performance or security purposes, whatever their customers see.
Now, what sorts of pain do you take away for your customers?
Predominantly, I would say trying to build a high-quality Tier 4 data center is very expensive. Not just the real estate, managing the cooling, condensation, air quality, let alone having at least 2 power providers in there. If you used to build a parts list, I would say we've got the big half of the parts list, and the goal is that you only need the little pieces. You focus on your core competencies, and we'll focus on taking away the pain with that.
Okay, so really allowing the cloud provider or whoever your customer is to not deal with the intricacies of setting everything up, right? The infrastructure. I mean, the tremendous costs and having to deal with real estate.
Yeah, the real estate. The biggest problems right now is servers make a lot of heat, so it's cooling. And with cooling becomes power consumption. So for all the power that you consume running your server, you need even more power to cool the server. So managing the facilities behind that. And also, because we're a neutral provider, you can pick and choose your carriers. Where if you went to a carrier and you're working with a carrier, they may be able to provide you some higher value services, something that's a bit more touchy-feely, but you're kind of locked in. So if you want to expand or diversify, you're kind of tied to those guys.
Right, okay. So in terms of the trends in the industry, have you seen anything in the last 10 years which is interesting that you want to point out?
I do find it entertaining that we're all moving back to mainframes, albeit they're a much more attractive looking mainframe. I think generally people are seeing the value. Mobility is a very big trend now. I was actually at SaaSCon last week, not last week, the week before, and what we saw at SaaSCon was a large number of companies that are very, very versatile moving their sales force heavily over to mobile applications. So if they're in a mobile application, they need to get on the internet anywhere. So a cloud infrastructure facilitates that, be it for Salesforce automation. So I think the wireless evolution is clearly what's going to be driving this.
And it continues to grow, doesn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. Apple's going to do some wonderful things for us. Every picture,
sure.
Every transaction that happens on one of their devices or RIM's devices are going to help all of us, I believe.
Well, it seems also the form factors with tablets have increased, meaning that the amount of storage and bandwidth goes up at least by a factor of 4 for just if you're looking at a movie on an iPhone versus an iPad.
Yeah.
You've got just that much more data that you need to stream down.
Yeah, and I think one of the things about the wireless networks is, in these applications, they're becoming less latency tolerant, which means that content needs to be closer to the end user as well. So as a cloud, if I was a public cloud provider, let's pick Apple as an example, I would need to start moving my end users' content out to the edge of the internet,
Right.
to the edge of the
So
wireless
more caching.
providers. So it's more data center space, more applications, more caching, more connectivity, more bandwidth. So I think that's very good for all of us as we look forward, because our users are going to become a lot less tolerant of performance, and poor performance are going to move on.
And so what's next for your company?
Next for my company is we're continually adding more facilities, more space. We've got a new facility coming up in Atlanta. We're
Congrats.
just adding more space in Sunnyvale. We've got more space coming up in New York. That's from a pure space perspective. With regards to helping the cloud and the SaaS providers, looking at building ecosystems. So trying to help the SaaS and the cloud providers find people within their supply chain that they want to work with, and consult with them more to put them closer together. You know, they make money, I make money, life is good, and all our end users are happy. So most of that is the building that ecosystem around those spaces.
That's great. Well, thanks for being on the program today.
Thank you very much.
That's great.
Really appreciate it. Thanks, Rich.